Oh, hi there. I'm Glenn, the glass guy. I love glass and the science behind it. Today we're going to talk about windows and the materials that go into making them. Now, everyone is familiar with the parts of the window that you can see, like the glass, the frame, and the hardware. But what about the parts of the window you can't see? Let's go into my lab to learn more. Now, every window unit is made of 2 and sometimes 3 panes of glass separated by a spacer that holds the panes together, creating an insulating airspace where a safe gas such as argon or krypton can be added to protect the home from heat loss and the outside elements. Some spacers are made of stainless steel and others are made of foam. So which spacer is better? We're going to test both spacers' strength, durability, and thermal performance to find out. Hi there, I'm Glenn, the glass guy. Now, windows need to stand the test of time, and to do that, they need to be durable. So as a result, the components inside the window, like the spacer, need to be durable too, don't you think? In fact, the more durable a spacer is, the better it is at gas retention. Much like this propane tank's job is to keep the gas safely contained, the spacer in between a double or triple pane window is designed to do the same thing. In between the panes of glass is an invisible insulating gas such as argon or krypton. However, the gas molecules naturally will look for any place to escape, especially at the corners. A special sealant is used to bond the spacer to the edges of the glass to create a tight seal. With the intercept spacer, the continuous metal and sharp bent corners combine with the sealant to provide a strong moisture and vapor barrier that prevents the gas from escaping. When a foam spacer is used, it's often placed in between the glass by hand and often lacks structural integrity, especially at the corners. Now, to be fair, a sealant is used to hold the foam spacer in place. Over time, however, the window's constant expansion and contraction leads to stress and separates the sealant from the spacer. This creates gaps for the gas to escape. Let's take a closer look at one more thing to see which material is more durable. First, let's put a stainless steel spacer under a microscope and see what we discover. Looks pretty impermeable, doesn't it? Now let's put the foam spacer under the microscope and see if we can spot any differences. Wow, look at that. As you can see, it looks rather porous. Which one do you think will last longer and provide a better defense against escaping gas? That's right, I'd say stainless. One last thing. Remember those foam footballs you had when you were a kid? When you first got it, it was soft, shiny, and it looked great. But what happened if you left it in the garage all winter, or better yet outside where it was exposed to the elements? Just look. It's pitted and hardened and really hasn't held up very well. You see, when exposed to the elements, foam just isn't as durable. Hello there, I'm Glenn, the glass guy. Did you know that a window spacer's strength helps it perform better? It also makes it more attractive. Let's see how. First, let's test the strength of the spacers inside a typical double pane window. I have a piece of Intercept stainless steel spacer suspended right here, and I'm going to hang this 500-gram weight from it. Just as I thought, the metal spacer doesn't budge. Now, let's do the same test with a typical piece of foam spacer. But let's just see if we hang an even smaller weight, like this 200-gram weight right here. That didn't work very well, did it? Not a very strong material, and that's not even a lot of weight. So clearly, the Intercept spacer wins the straight-up strength test. Still, another benefit of the stainless steel spacer is how it looks inside the window. Due to its U-shape and strong seal, the steel spacer sits tight between the two panes of glass and gives the window a crisp, clean look with uninterrupted sight lines. Now, because foam is a very pliable material, it doesn't always sit straight inside the panes of glass and can result in a wavy appearance, which interferes with the window's sight lines. So, in the final analysis, the Intercept spacers are not only stronger than the foam spacers, but also more aesthetically pleasing. That means they look better too. Hi there, I'm Glenn, the glass guy. Now, what good is a window if it doesn't keep the elements out? Keeping the cold air out in the winter and the hot air out in the summer? We call this thermal performance. And window spacers play a very important role in this. Fans of foam spacers will tell you that a stainless steel spacer actually leads to poor thermal performance. They suggest that because steel naturally conducts both hot and cold, well, how can it insulate? However, if you were to study the thermal performance of windows with Intercept spacers versus those with foam spacers, you would see something surprising. This is a thermal imaging camera. It can tell the difference between hot and cold spots on a surface. Using this camera, we've taken images of windows. The image on the left is a window with an Intercept stainless steel spacer. The image on the right is a window with a foam spacer. Do you see any difference? Nope. Oh, just one more thing. When we measured the insulating characteristics of the glass, better known as the U factor, they came out equal. You actually have to go 3 places beyond the decimal point to spot any difference at all. In truth, the window industry only measures 2 numbers past the decimal point. So, when it comes to thermal performance, the stainless steel spacer performs just as well as the foam spacer.